These days especially, there are so many difficult, hard topics to discuss with kids. And kids are so plugged in right now themselves with the internet and social media. They know things that you really should discuss as a family. Florence Ann Romano has some guidance for us right now. She's a child care advocate with special encouragement for parents. This is just a thing you do, Florence Ann, and we appreciate you for it.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad you are. It's true, isn't it, that with all the hard things kids, all of us have to deal with now, it's a different world.
It is a different world, and I think that navigating it with our children, that can feel maybe unprecedented. It can feel a little scary, but at the same time, I think it's lovely also to be able to swim the same waters with your children sometimes, so kids can see that you're relating to how they're feeling too.
Yeah, that's good. Your first point is about finding that safe space to talk. Like, what do you think is a good time and place to talk to a kid about something serious?
Well, you don't want to do it when they're having a meltdown or they're on their way to school and they're like, where's my lunch bag? Where's my homework? You want to do it when you're ready to have that conversation. So dinner time, it's one funny thing from the pandemic I think we all learned is that quality time with your family was something we were missing. I've seen a lot of people go back to that dinner time with their family, even if it's for 10 minutes. Talking there is a great opportunity to hear what's on everyone's hearts and minds and what their perspective is too of what's going on, because it's not always the same depending on the age and depending on how we all process things too.
Well, yeah, because I know you really believe in letting a child vent. Like we
Yes.
need to, instead of like giving a speech to them, you really think
Right.
that we should encourage their opinions and their emotions.
Exactly. I mean, no one likes to be talked at. I think even as an adult, you want to think you're having a give and take conversation, and children the same. You want to teach them that tool from the sandbox, truthfully. So it's the idea of also helping give you the tools that you need to have that conversation. What does your child know about the circumstances? That's going to help inform you about, okay, this is how much they know. This is kind of their emotional level of intelligence about it. I'm going to fill in the blanks this way, instead of you just, flying by the seat of your pants and not having any idea of where you should start when something's so big sometimes. So getting them to talk first is a really good idea.
Well, I think a good example of that is currently right now with the Ukraine situation. And I think sometimes as adults, we don't really understand it all either.
No.
So sometimes we have to discover this stuff together, don't we, with our kids?
Right. Discovering together is okay to do. I know that people will pull out a map and they'll show their kids where Ukraine is in relation to the world, in relation to where they are, and then give kind of that Cliff Notes version of what's going on. And even us adults, we're watching the news every day trying to figure out what's going on and what's to be done and what's our role, and how to talk to children about crisis, whatever that is. I think applying these rules to that situation can be helpful no matter what the circumstances are. And really, it's mostly about communication. It's about understanding. It's about compassion. We want our children to know that, it's important for us in this world to be aware of what's going on around us, even if it scares us, but also know where we can be the helpers.
I know one of your last points is about managing your own anxiety, so you don't scare, especially if kids are younger, so they don't get scared because, gee, if my mom is scared, maybe
Right.
I need to
Right.
be that way as well. So I know you don't want us to hide our emotions from our kids. What's the balance there, you think, Florence Ann?
I think I've seen social media and technology in that way kind of make it too easy for us to say a lot of things without being any sort of version of edited or having any sort of decorum. Sometimes we just kind of spew it all out. We've all had that moment where we see something on the news and we're yelling at the TV or we're doing something like that. We want to be positive role models for our children or for caretakers who are in charge of children. Let them see you practicing what you preach. Don't be like, rules for thee, but not for me. You want them to see how you handle stress in a constructive way. That doesn't mean that you're not scared. It doesn't mean you're not having real feelings. It's just about making sure that you're expressing those in a healthy way.
Yeah, that's great. So if we want to learn more about you and what you do to help us with our kids and our family life, where can we go, Florence Ann? What's a resource for you?
Sure. Please go to Instagram, Florence Ann. I'm there for you. I answer every DM I get. I'm here to be a virtual village for you, or go to my website, florenceann.com.
Thanks for your guidance and your suggestions today. Very nice. I think it's something we could all use, even if we, no matter what kind of kids we have in our life. You know, it doesn't. We don't have to be direct parents, but we could be step parents, grandparents. You know, we can be parents. It takes a village, right? It
takes a village.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of people in that village. If you're lucky, you know, the more love, the better.
You're so right. Thank you, Florence Ann. Good seeing you today.
Thank you too.
Take care.